2.
The
Code.
dependent.
Nuts. I was trying to figure out how could I get these nuts in there so bad.
Today we're going to be getting into this Psychology Today article about single lonely men. Lord. This is my first time hearing about it. Brought to me by this Psychology Today subscriber, my professional counselor wife, Sherry Jones.
That's hilarious because I am a subscriber. But that's not how I got it. I had 3 different clients send this to me through 3 different avenues. I was emailed,
Okay.
I was Instagrammed,
Okay.
and I was texted.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you. Like,
Okay.
it was crazy. And it was like, which was even weirder, I had already posted the article to my Instagram story when someone else sent it to me on Instagram. They didn't even follow my story. Didn't even know it. I'm the weird enough person that would look at that to see. Yep, you aren't even following my story.
Okay, you did your detective work.
I'm always a detective.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about me. I pay attention to so many weird details that others don't, but that's, I guess, a part of studying human behavior. But absolutely, I was like, damn, this was fast. And not just that, but like, obviously, as I posted it, people were commenting, making comments. So it's like, obviously, this is an emotional post because I'm getting reactions, likes, dislikes, comments, like you said, even for our own stuff. Like, you can kind of tell that something is a trending topic or an emotional topic based on the response people get.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it was just instantly like emotions. I either love this article or I hate this article. Well, okay, well, why?
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess speaking to that a little bit, it's obvious to me or to the women, we love that shit because it's saying shit we've been saying. Now you got a peer-reviewed motherfucking research-based article saying the shit we've been trying to say for years. So this feels like, oh, to us, which you talk about, couples love to talk about communication. Okay, here's a peer-reviewed article. Here's research based on professionals and doctors and all of this. And so this means what? That men are going to hear and receive this. Did the men hear and receive it?
Yeah.
No, they did not.
They did both.
Did they?
Received it.
Did they
Meaning
receive it?
Came in. That's
Came
all
in what?
receive means is took it, brought it,
Did they?
took it.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Did they take it in?
Yeah.
How can you take it in if you didn't read it?
Well, that's how they got triggered. If you get triggered, you must have took
You
something.
read 2 lines. So you took 2 lines in. So you're right. You took some of it in. Did you read the entirety of it?
Right.
Did you digest it? Did you sit with it?
Right.
Or did you instantly create a rebuttal, which is, my favorite branding. How often did you sit with that? Or how long did you sit with that uncomfortable emotion? So
Yes.
did you sit with it at all? Or did you instantly find a reason that this article was not true or inaccurate or false or not taking in the full perspective? Or, oh, here's a reason for it. Because that's what I get instantly.
Yes.
Oh, that's because of this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So this article is from August 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And the key points are: dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise.
Dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing. They're diminishing because dating standards are rising. Okay.
Yes. Got it. Next. Men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for matches.
So because they are not able to figure out what the women are looking for, they're now overly saturating the market. Supply and demand. There's a lot more supply than is being demanded.
Yes. Yes. And point number 3, men need to address skill deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations.
The reason is because there are deficits that men are not achieving or...
Yeah.
So that's the part that's a struggle. I'm not going to go as far as to say that you have to, but the point is what they're saying is if you want a relationship, the relationship is supposed to be about two people, right? And if what women want, their standards have changed, in order to have a healthy relationship, you might have to change also.
Yeah. In what ways?
What ways did they list?
They also say women prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values.
Emotional intelligence and shared values. Nailed it.
Shared values shouldn't really fit in this motherfucker. If you
To
ask
men,
me.
no, it never should fit. This is the
Okay.
issue. That's the difference between men and women. Right there.
What is that?
Men can look at a woman and be sexually turned on.
Correct.
Women are more likely to be sexually turned on through conversations and interactions with men, not through just looking at them.
Well,
Right?
I don't know when they look at me.
So that's also part of the challenge, right? Not to say that there's no man or woman that people are instantly turned on by looking at, but that's typically your ideal for men and women. Are most people walking this earth our ideals? They're not. People
Correct.
don't like to hear these types of truths, but it's true.
No, that's real.
Most people walking this earth are not the perfect physical image of a man.
Or
The
even
person,
even in the top 10%, which is why attractive people get so much shine. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. But that is the case for physical attraction, right?
Okay.
Which is what has gotten so much focus. Well, attraction is not only physical. That's
Correct.
just one aspect of attraction. But that's the aspect that men care about personally, right? Physical attraction. That's the first thing I'm drawn to a person about. For you, for women, it's already a several step process because of some of the rules we've seen men create in society. You can't be a hoe. You can't be attached to too many people, which means I can't just go off of looks. I got a quota. I got about 3 to 5 men that I can talk to, date, interact with, fuck before I'm a hoe. So 3 to 5 niggas before I'm a hoe, and you want me to utilize how many of those chances on you?
Wow. So basically, you got like tokens. Hoe tokens. Hokens.
Hokins. Hokins. I love that. So if I got a limited amount of tokens or a limited amount of opportunities or
Yeah.
chances to see it, I'm going to be super particular,
Yeah, you better.
which means I have to develop all of these standards in order to determine how is this a right person for me.
Yeah, I can see that. So basically, because the patriarchal system has set up, including the Andrew Tates of the world, that we dismiss and discard women with too high of a body count.
Not only too high of a body count, the wrong body count as well. Because not only can you not have too high of a count, but if you're fucking lames and fuck boys, that's what I want on my...
Yeah.
Because we hear that all the time. Oh, your baby mama's in the streets. Your baby mama did this. Your wife did this. So it's not just about what you're currently doing and what you used to do. It's the history in general. It's the type of people. It's all of that goes into it, which means I have to be super exclusive and super critical on a certain
And
level
diligent.
and diligent on who I'm sleeping with in order to not be considered a hoe.
Which would create high standards by nature. Wow, yes, of course. So basically, you start to see like these ramifications and ancillary consequences to the patriarchal system.
Absolutely.
And it makes sense. It would develop the same way it would, for instance, black people have developed certain strengths because of the oppression from American, and I'll speak about our country, American white pressures. The same will happen with women in their development. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And then take it into like what you said. That's an extreme version because we said sex, but like even just like you said, communication. So let's go into that. What is the narrative around communication? Women talk, men don't talk. So because of that, women talk. And because we have the freedom to talk, we're now good at talking. We've developed a skill, right? Like that's what skills means, experience. So if I'm
Practice.
talking and communicating
Yeah.
a lot, if I'm talking and communicating about my emotions a lot, if I'm talking about and communicating anything, I'm going to develop some skills in that. Doesn't mean I'm automatically an expert,
Right.
but I'm probably going to have some skills more than someone who doesn't talk. More than someone who doesn't communicate, which is where these deficits are created. Women are emotional. Women are
I was just
talkative.
about to say
Women
that.
are this.
I was just about to say that. I like that because basically, let's take, like you just were doing, a few of the traits that are denigrated in the feminine archetype, and over communication, over emotional, and when you, I'm sorry, and promiscuous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically I have to be choosy with my vajayjay, and so I learn basically who to give it to.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm overly communicative.
So I
which
can be
means-
choosy with my words.
and also learn how to use words because
Mhm.
I'm the one who gets to play with them in this archetype.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super emotional. You know what? Let me just do a little segue here. I remember we watched this baking show, and this chick was cooking these cupcakes, and they just did not set in the oven. She broke down, and it was a husband-wife team. She broke down, had to walk off the set, cried and all that. She bounced back, wiped her tears, and kept cooking. And I remember I sat back in that moment like, whoa, hold on a second. So that, you mean to tell me that as a human being, I can melt down in public on camera and then move past all whatever shame and embarrassment and just get right back to the task?
And not just back to the task, I
Wow.
might even kill it.
Yeah, I took something from that. Now, I'm not on that level yet. I'm still a little bit nervous to express and, not as free as you might feel. But at least I found a beacon. At least I found I saw it happening, right? A model.
And not as free as I may feel makes sense, right? Because this is where men have been traumatized. A 5-year-old boy is told not to emote when a
Yeah.
5-year-old girl is given the space to. I saw that with my brothers. I seen that in my family where there's no space for, there's no grace towards boys. There's a different response. There's a different reaction. That's actually traumatic.
It is,
So
man.
you're then, which is part of this deficit, right? Because girls are taught to cater to others. Boys are not taught to cater to others. So now we're taught that early on in childhood. Boys are not taught to cater, which also means they don't know how to cater. That's a deficiency. At some point, you got to cater to people.
Yeah.
At some point, you don't need to cater to people.
Yeah.
It's a deficiency in both of us, but it manifests differently as adults. It manifests differently because we have similar issues, but not the same issue. The same way Kenny just told us, we have boundary issues. We both have boundary issues, but boundary issues in men may manifest differently than boundary issues in women.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, you have these boundary issues. So do you. Well, you're doing this. Okay. Well, you're doing that.
Right.
It's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna look the same.
Different genders have different,
Absolutely.
challenges there.
Different challenges, different skills, different gifts, different weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we're pointing out the other's weakness. We also have weaknesses.
Yeah, and
Everybody.
I'd like to actually thank you for that, because this episode is about lonely men and skills deficits, which feels like judgment, which feels like denigration, and that feels like the current movement to shit on men and point out where they're failing. Now, some of that is due, right? Some of that is due, just like any oppressed population. But I will like to say, as a man, and I do represent all you toxic fellas, you can look to me as your leader. I'm as toxic as the rest of you. But anyway, this programming happened to all of us. Feminine programming, and I know we got a bunch of genders out here these days, so please.
Well,
don't-
that's the
please
problem,
don't
right?
come get
Because
me.
we don't have a bunch of genders. We have no genders, but we've been taught genders.
Exactly. And so, men, we're looking out for you too, in the sense that none of this is anybody's fault. This is a pointing out of data on this article to say that because of the ebbs and flows of society and relationships, right now, men are mostly on the dating apps because we're catching up because of how our fathers and grandfathers taught us to communicate.
Well, it also
and
happened before, right?
relate.
Like each person, when they're in their struggle, they're like, why am I going through this struggle? Everyone goes through struggles, just not at the same time. So imagine if I went through a horrifying catastrophic event, like level 10 event when I was 20 and you didn't. So I'm over here, why is this happening to me? So what if your event happens in your 40s?
Okay.
The shit happened to both of us. It's just not going to happen at the same time all the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I think that, like you said, I remember growing up in the 90s, being born in the 80s, but growing up in the 90s, you constantly heard the language towards women. You need to communicate what you're thinking. I can't read your mind. Well, now women are saying the same to men. That makes sense.
Okay.
The focus was on women first, which is why they developed to this point. It goes to what you're saying. How often do we hear women being criticized in public? that pushes you to grow, that pushes you to change. You're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this, you're not doing that.
Take care of your man.
Take care of your man. Take care of
yourself.
People,
so he
men
stays
complain, but they're not
interested in
paying
you.
attention because they're like, who taught you what? All I've ever heard is what I need to do to be a good wife or a good mother.
Yeah.
I've never even learned what I need to do to be a good woman for myself. It
Good-
was
yeah,
mother,
good
wife
self.
first. I'm talking about as a kid.
Yeah.
That was the focus as a kid. How do you take care of others? How do you take care of your family? How do you take care of other people?
Right.
It was never focused on yourself
And you're
as
never
a woman.
telling a young girl, hey, once you get this kids and family, you're going to be heavily overwhelmed. And guess what? You're going to have to try to find breaks just for you. And also find a man and a partner and teach your kids that mom needs breaks.
That's not being taught because
No.
we're being learned or we're being taught through a male lens. They don't want you to take no breaks. That's not encouraged. The same way white people did not tell slaves to take breaks. They put you into church so you
Yeah.
wouldn't have a break.
I actually hear sons who are now grown, and I'm no judgment, but just let me say what I'm trying to say. Look, I got mad at y'all because I felt consternation. But anyway, I actually hear sons say stuff like, "My mom never took a break. My mom always was there for me," and it's praised.
Absolutely. The same way
That
the person
shit
who
is-
never takes a vacation and I'm always working, that's praised. The same way the athlete who shows up at the sports field and misses their child's birth and misses the funerals is praised. That's fucking toxic. That's stupid.
But inside the sports world, it's
Yeah, because
great.
you serve the sports agenda.
Right.
But guess where the family world is? Now
Yeah.
you're an adult who's lived your whole life, you've done your thing, and now you want to come back to the family and what the family say? We don't want you, we don't need you.
yeah.
We don't know you, really.
Yeah.
You've never spent time with us, so now you want us to drop everything for you. Why would we do that?
Which makes me think of what we've talked about several times, Chad Cinco on the one
I
of
Am
these
Athlete.
I Am Athlete, yeah, where he was sad that his daughters or kids choose friends and their lives over him. But like you said, he was largely absent during their formative years.
That girl we just saw in that video clip with Kennedy said the same thing, right? The parents are saying, I provided this, this, and this, but you didn't ask me what I needed. So you gave me what you thought was sufficient, right? Food, shelter, but I didn't get emotional needs met. Same for parenting. That same dysfunction is not just in the men, right? That's in the whole of society. We've denigrated emotions so we don't know how to respond to emotions. So why would I engage with someone who's not responding to my emotional needs?
Yeah,
Why would I engage with someone who's not responding to my physical needs?
Yeah.
My spiritual needs, like whatever that is that I'm saying that I need, but you're not thinking about that because you're thinking, am I getting my needs met?
so
We both have to get our needs met for this to be a healthy relationship, not just one
let me
person.
put a small spin on this, and I'm already nervous to say it because it feels like a perpetuation of the current.
Mm-hmm.
But what can women do? You know, and I'm not.
Oh,
Please.
I got an answer instant.
Okay, hold on.
Before you even finish the sentence, what can women do? Answer,
Sure. What is it?
don't date niggas.
Okay, I knew it. I knew it.
Seriously and not seriously though.
Can
Date
you say?
around.
Can you say don't date men so it's not so hard for me to edit out this
So-
niggas word every time?
Don't. A part of this conversation is, like you said, it's the consequences for what happened to begin with, right? So what were the consequences? Boys will be boys. Men can do whatever. This is how it's always been historically. This is how it's always been. All of these, like, there's a completely different language when it's men versus women accountability, right? Oh, men are allowed, the boys will be boys. This is how men are. But women should change, right? If those are the two languages, we have a deficiency. We have an issue with that, which is the problem. So a lot of times we want to correct something, but without accepting it is what it is, right? If I've been taught since I was 3 about emotional things and communication and putting others first, and you were taught since you were 3 to put only yourself first, I'm expecting to change that in 3 years, 5 years? Like, this is 20 to 30 years of conditioning. So women get upset and they get pissed. Oh, he's immature, or he's less mature, he's cheating, or these things. And we say, because there's truth. These are things that you have to grow out of. We understand theoretically, every single man says it themselves. Men that struggled in their teenage years, it took me time to grow up. I had to mature out of certain things. I had to unlearn certain things. I had to develop and grow. I started to realize how I was affecting women. I started to realize how I was hurting people. I started to see my actions. That's an immature state. Now I'm more mature, so I see things differently. Well, you want a mature relationship day one. That's the problem.
The woman.
Both. The man and the woman want both people, not themselves, the other person to be mature day one. You should be able to meet all my needs. You should be this. You should be that. Based on standards of what we've seen in relationships, we need to have a certain credit score. We need to have communication. We need to have emotional intelligence. We need to have X, Y, Z. Where you getting that from? You got that? No. He got that? No. How's that going to come about? It can only come about through work, which means we both have to put work and effort into that, which means we both have to be committed to that, which is where women are lying to themselves because the men already are telling you that's not their goal. That's not even their agenda, which is why I said don't date. I don't literally mean don't date, but don't date men that are not in alignment, which is what the article is saying. That no one wants to accept the reality. If they're saying 60% of the men are lonely because they can't find a match, women are also lonely.
Right.
So what are you doing instead? Not focusing on finding a match in a man, focusing on those other areas of your life.
That's why the discrepancy exists online. Because one of the other things they said there was, and I don't know how much I agree with this. The motherfucker didn't say what he studied and what his data was.
I wish they had put that in.
But it said men normally are more healthy when partnered, right?
Mm-hmm. But men say that too. Beside every good man is a good woman, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole concept which religion created, which men created, I need a helpmate. Women don't need a helpmate. Niggas need a helpmate. Men need a helpmate, right? So even when I hear men talk, why do you want a woman? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of these things with these kids. I need a woman to help me with these kids. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cook. I need a woman to help me cook. Oh my gosh, I don't want to clean. I need a woman to help me with these things. All those things women learn how to do for themselves, so they don't need you to learn how to do them. But you now need a woman to do those things because those are woman tasks. So you fucked yourself up. You've determined in your own mindset that these tasks that are life skills are only for women. Yeah. I can't do them, so now I need a woman in my life to get this shit done. Because I promise you, I don't need a nigga in my life to get shit done. I may want one. I may like one. It may enhance it. It may be a benefit. But do I need it to go to school? No. Do I need it to cook? Do I need it to clean? That's the discrepancy. That's what they're talking about, the life skills. You told yourself, oh, I just need a help person, and I need this person to help me. Help you with what? All your shit. So who's helping her with her shit? So her job is to take on all of her own tasks, all of her own things, all of these kids' tasks, and your tasks. That's the historical expectation of women. So that makes sense. Women would develop like shit. Yeah, you a fucking superwoman. You've been expected to be superwoman. In order to even be considered a basic good woman, I already got to do all of these things. A man can walk away from his kids and bitches still want him. A man cannot be taking care of his woman, beat the shit out of the last woman he's with, and now, okay, he can change. A woman who's had sex with 5 men, she's a hoe for the rest of her fucking life.
Damn.
She's no good for the rest of her life. She's whatever this, whatever, and I'm being a little exaggerative, but like whatever those
Not
labels
too
are,
much though,
like you start to see these things like, no, that's who they are. But for men, oh, you know how men are, and they're immature, and there's this, and this. There's all these reasons for why men are the way they are.
Wow.
All of those reasons are true for women too, but we don't get that. Like, no one really accepts that excuse. Oh, you can't take care of your kid. The man complains about child support, so you're complaining about child support. What's the woman doing? Not getting the child support and taking care of the kids. The child support you're complaining is too much. You're not paying. So what does she do? Still got to figure shit out for her kid. Not only the one that you're not taking care of, but the other two that the other 2 men ain't taking care of, that she got to take care of all 3 of them joints by herself with no empathy or understanding from them, because that's the problem. You started, but each one of y'all wanted to bust in her by yourself, right? Each one of y'all wanted kids or wanted to raw dog or wanted whatever shit until it became too much, emotionally draining. Too much. You wanted that chick, didn't you? Yeah. But then why is it too much now? Because you didn't think forward steps to say, what is this really? What is it going to take to be in a relationship? What is it going to take to be a father? What is it going to take to engage in these things? Oh, that's that overthinking that she was doing? That she was steps ahead of, and you're telling her go with the flow. Don't overthink it. Don't overprocess it. Don't talk about your emotions too much. Don't get involved in that too much. Just follow me. Follow the nigga that now don't want to deal with the shit that's his own responsibility. That's the one I'm supposed to follow?
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, I'm trying to be a host of this podcast, but sometimes even the host got to stand back and say, Lord, because she just laid on me that
And
fire
still want to
hose.
fuck you after all of that. You want her to still want to sleep with you.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, so my original question way back when
Don't they? Yeah.
was,
that's
what
fucking
could
wrong.
women do?
Be honest with themselves. Stop lying to themselves.
Let me withdraw it.
He said
please.
withdraw it.
Let me withdraw my original question, please, if I can. Please.
According to men, what men tell me, have more patience.
No, that's why I need to withdraw it. Please.
No, but I do think they need to have more patience.
But
They have to be honest.
because
That's the only reason I say this, and it sounds like I'm being harsh to women, but it's because what you just said. No, we do need to do something different. The same way if the man, which men love to say, oh, because of this woman, because of this woman, because of this woman. Well, I hear a common denominator, you choosing bad women then. So you need to do something different in the type of women you're choosing, right? So that's also what I'm saying to women.
You bothered me a little bit with that bad women.
No, I'm saying this is what they're saying. Okay. This is what the man is saying. I'm having this struggle in my life because of this woman I'm with, or this woman that I was going through. She put me through all of this. She's toxic. She ruined this thing. She's ruined my life. Okay, how many women have ruined your life? 3 to 5. Why you keep choosing women that ruin your life?
But why are we? It sounds like you're switching onus to woman.
I'm not. It's irrelevant. That's how people see it. I don't care if she's good or bad. In reality,
okay,
that's not what we're dealing with. What we're dealing with is your perception right now. In your mindset, she's bad. Okay, I can't change your mindset.
Okay,
but in your mindset, for regardless of if she's good or bad, why you keep choosing her?
Okay.
Why is that your choice?
Okay. I got you.
She's the problem. You keep choosing she's.
Yeah,
you keep choosing these. Absolutely.
You choosing she's.
Over and over again. Who's the common? I made this choice. Okay, now I chose a different one. It's still not right. So that means you got some things you need to figure out. What am I looking for? What do I want? Why am I picking things that I end up unsatisfied with?
Wow.
If we're being honest, that's the work women are doing that men are upset about. Why is she so picky? Well, because like you said, you got 3 to 5 chances before you're a hoe. I ain't got no choice to be picky. You can sleep with 20, 50, 100 women. You're not a hoe, which means you think you may be great because look at all these with quality over quantity. I got all these bitches in my past. Yeah, but how many have you had?
Quantity over quality. Yeah,
Same difference, right? I got all these ones. So that was good? Were they healthy? Did they like you? We didn't do that work. I just had a lot. That's what men talk. Pimp. I'm a pimp. Like all of these. This woman did this for me. This woman did that for me. Did that have anything to do with you?
All right, you're right. So fuck the women question. But then let's say, for the men who read that article and vibe, yeah, I'm on this app. I'm struggling on this app. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't understand what you're talking about this emotional shit. Like, I'm just trying to be a good nigga to these chicks, and they just keep coming at me, telling me how I'm ill-equipped and all this. You know what I mean?
Well, because like you just said, what men hear in that article is women don't want men. That's not what that article is saying. That article is saying women want relationships.
Right.
And they can't find a partner they think is adequate to have a relationship with.
All right, I'm role-playing with you.
It's not that women are against men, but they're saying in order to get the things I need met, right? Imagine you're telling me you want a partner who cooks for you. There's nothing wrong for that, right? If I don't cook, I'm not the right partner for you if that's something you're extremely adamant about, right?
But that's
Did I say that you're a bad person
for
not being able to cook? No, but that's not compatible for me. Now, for women, what we're saying is not cooking. I can cook for myself. I don't need your money. I can make my own money. I don't need you to buy me shit. I can buy my own shit. What I need from you is emotional intelligence. I need you to be able to have...
Mean?
I'm getting to it. I need you to be able to have a conversation with me. I need you to be able to not dismiss when I tell you I'm thinking or feeling something. So this article came out. I posted it on my story. Got into a conversation with a friend about it. I made a sentence. I can't even remember what the sentence was, but he said a phrase. I said it later. When I said that phrase, I was overthinking. I said the same phrase you said. I could say the exact verbiage that a man says, but when I say it, it's emotional. When I say it, it's erratic. When I say it, I'm overthinking. You said the same thing. That's your bias. So because of that, you've automatically dismissed what I had to say. Oh, this is an overreaction. So now you didn't take in. That's why I said, did you take it in? Did you digest? Did you sit with it? Or did you dismiss it? Because, you know how women are emotional.
How do I... as a man who is rejecting things, because I do this, things come in, I feel judged, I say, nah. Help me see how a man should sit with criticism.
It's
sit
hard.
With.
Absolutely.
What do I do?
Our first reaction when we get criticized, no. Right? That's
I
our
don't
reaction.
do that.
No, that's not true. I don't do that. I do that because, right? All of these defenses. No. That's the first reaction. No, I don't like that. I don't feel good about that. I'm not enjoying this experience. And because of that, that's not the truth. And why is that not true? Because of this, because of this, because of that. So you've already dismissed it. Okay, can it be true?
So that's what I do. Okay. Practically,
Is it ever true?
So
have you seen it true in your own life or in your own past or in your own experiences? Have you seen it true in other people's past and other people's experiences? Because that's another thing men like to do. I'm a different type of nigga. Oh, that's what they do. Okay.
Oh.
So you've never done that? Ever?
Okay. So instead of singling I'm getting something here. Instead of singling myself out as an outlier, see how I join the fray.
Am I one of these lonely men?
So let me bring up a specific situation, and I think it's something that...
Or not even, because here's what people say also. Like, okay, lonely man app. Well, I'm married. I'm not on the app. Okay. Or I'm dating, so I'm not on it. Are you deficient in skills? Keep reading. That's one aspect of it. But it's also saying that women are not happy or in healthy relationships. So you might be in a relationship that's about to end. So we stop. We're like, oh no, this doesn't qualify because I'm married or I'm this or I'm that or I'm that. Okay, dig deeper.
All right, let me do it then.
Go ahead.
Because I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
But I read the article and felt this is not me.
Mm-hmm.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I realize toxic brethren. See, you got one. Y'all got one in me. Y'all got one in me. Here I go. Now watch me get my ass ate.
Whoops. Pause.
Watch me get criticized. And then maybe through my process we can learn something.
You ain't got to worry about them problems over here. I ain't no ass, okay? Male or female, I ain't need ass. So don't worry about that.
I misspoke.
About to get mine. Say, now.
So, all right. So, okay, Travis' turn.
Sorry, focus.
To be...
Yeah, certain phrases is peak interest.
Yeah. Instantly,
what
we start.
I need. Hold up, pull my pants. What? You said pull my pants down? Oh no, you did. My bad. Okay. Oh, I see.
Oh goodness, Lordy Jesus! All right, so it's my turn. I'm saying I don't do those things. I'm evolved. I have a podcast criticizing men about these things. There's no way I could be amongst the fray. But of course I am, I say. So let's discover how Trav, the hero, the woman, the man every woman would want, the evolved man, the emotionally available and communicative man. Let's see how he fucks up. Okay, so how am I like them? How do I shut stuff down and not sit with it? How do I prevent the emotional growth? How am I not connecting with you on these topics that these dating men aren't hitting? Because I know
lack of empathy.
Lack of empathy. That's your first sentence you want to hit me with. Ooh, it feels heavy.
So, are you more comfortable when you're driving or when I'm driving?
Me.
Why?
Because I'm in control.
How often do you drive?
Every single time.
Boom. So how often do you get to sit with the experience of being out of control driving?
Yes.
Just that one experience. How often do you make the decisions for the house?
Most of the time.
So how often do you get to sit with someone else making the decisions that you gotta be connected to and live with?
Cut the like, I don't want to do this anymore. I see what y'all are saying.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And
Okay,
that's just one. Imagine like you said for driving.
Okay, so wait, sorry. All right,
that's
seriously
every
though.
day.
All right, seriously though. Okay. So we can propagate and project that out, right? So wait.
And so let's go to what you're saying.
Do you want to drive more?
Of course.
Okay.
And of course not. Both. But we'll get into that next.
Okay.
So like you said, you're absolutely also right. You do a lot of shit other people don't.
Okay.
You cook. Most men don't do. You do all of the cooking at this point in the relationship. Not always, but at this point you do all the cooking. You do gardening. Some men, I talked to my brother on the phone today, even the word gardening triggered him. I didn't say garden because he said yard work. Excuse me, nigga.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Yard work. I had to, and this is, oh my God, a perfect example right in there. I can talk to a woman and I can say garden and yard work simultaneously.
That's fine.
Interchangeably. If I'm in therapy with a man, that word is already triggering. So now I gotta watch my wording. That's already extra work I gotta do to have a conversation with you to help you.
Damn.
Extra work that I gotta take on, because if I say the wrong word, it shuts you down and you can't even engage in the conversation.
Damn.
Because those words are quite synonymous, but quite not.
Yeah, connotations different.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
just because of societal connotations.
Sure.
That's women's work. You got a lot of niggas that do landscaping. Do we not? Don't we got a lot of men in the landscaping business? Isn't that not a predominantly male
It actually
job?
is. It actually is. Yeah.
Isn't chefs predominantly male
That's
jobs?
True. See how it is. When it's in the house, we want the women to do it. But as soon as there's money involved, give me all of that.
And who are the
Shit.
leaders in a lot of those predominantly female industries? The men. Why do you think I get annoyed when you hear certain men therapists speaking? Now everybody's like, oh, it's so it's like, I've been saying that shit. It's a billion women been saying this
She's
shit.
jealous as a motherfucker.
Oh,
I agree
ain't
with
gonna
her.
lie.
I agree with her
am.
though. I
because
agree with
it's why? Like you just said, because my kids can say shit and people be like, that's genius. But if I say it's different, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the kid, that's the man. There's all these pockets where it's important if they said it.
Yeah.
But when you say it, it's just a woman. Oh, that's a mom. That's a wife. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Even that idea, like, oh, the mom worked 3 jobs.
Well, wait, why is that bad? What do you mean?
Listen to Dear Mama.
Oh, because of everything she fucking had to do.
That's toxic for you and the kid, honestly, because that's also why the mom is so frustrated. That's the reason men are, if we're being honest, averted to pain. I've seen my mom go through all of these things. So guess what that means? When she had to work 3 jobs because the father wasn't in the home, she was super frustrated. So who did that frustration come out on? The kid. So who becomes averse to emotional reactions? The kid, the son.
Yeah, the son.
Absolutely. Dealing with his mom's reaction. So now here's another woman showing strong emotions. Oh, takes me back to my childhood and my mom don't want to deal with that. But why are those women emotional? Why are those women upset? Why are they overwhelmed? Like the article said, men stop. Well, that's because of this. That's what you want to believe. That's the narrative you want to tell. Do you ever sit in the other narratives? Which is what it takes work to do. Because I got to sit in her shoes. I got to no longer dismiss her pain. How about the fact that we've read articles that now say that the woman having a period is equivalent to a heart attack? We just discovered this.
What?
So number 1 is just being discovered because now we just care about women's health. First of all, think about that in all of the years of history. But now, what are we saying? That's the amount of pain women go through in their cycle.
Heart attack?
Heart attacks that they're considered to still go to work for, still produce, still do everything a nigga's supposed to do with that amount of pain. Why? Because I'm not experiencing it, so it must not be that serious. Or also because you're handling it in ways I can't, it must not be that serious. It couldn't be that you're that much stronger than me.
Damn. I mean,
It can never be that for men. How could that not be possible?
okay, physically stronger, you're right.
Because
you're
when we talk about physical strength, who determined physical strength? Men defined it. So now physical strength is I can lift all these weights. Okay, well, how many periods can you go through? How much pounding sexually can you go through? Because that's women taking that physically. And that, what does every man do? I want to bang it out. Is that even pleasant for her? But she's enduring a lot of shit for you.
So I'll be pounding? Is that what you said?
No, you don't.
Oh.
When I ask for it, but I'm just saying, like, we're different things. How much information you want to get? You asking questions. What is the first rule of lawyering? Don't ask a question you don't want the answer
Ladies
to.
and gentlemen, we have poundless sex.
No, we don't have poundless sex, but you're not in here just only pounding me because that would be uncomfortable. That's my point. That's another thing that men don't realize. Oh, the woman likes this, whatever it is, pounding, licking. So I'm about to do this for the next 60 minutes. That's where you fail. No one likes that. Oh, your favorite meal is macaroni and cheese. All right, I'm going to give you macaroni and cheese every day for the rest of your life. The fuck? Who wants that? So women are complicated because we like variety. So you want me to feed you broccoli every day for the rest of our lives?
Right.
Nobody wants that. But it takes me a little bit more work to say, oh, so you don't want broccoli today? What do you want today? Maybe you want steak today. Maybe you want steak and broccoli today. Maybe you want only potato.
And then you know what the response be? How dare you have variety?
That was part of the same conversation I just had with one of my friends, where it was just sort of like, oh, so women want men to be emotional, but now we're emotional and you don't want us to be emotional. So you wanted me to cook, so you want me to give you burnt cake?
Right.
Eat the cake. It's the thought that counts, right? I put time. It took me 10 hours to bake this cake. And I made your favorite flavors, and I put your favorite icing, and I did all of that shit, and it didn't come out correctly. You gonna eat it? It's runny and burnt. How? I don't know, but it's runny and burnt. You gonna eat it? Because my thought count, and I put all this time and effort and energy in it, so now you should accept it. But that's what people want on the flip side. Like, oh, so you want this and that? You fucking right.
Right.
Yes. I want you to express emotion, so I want you to come to my job and scream at me when I'm on the job? No.
Right.
I need to explain that to you? Well, that's why we talking about deficient skills, because I got to explain that shit to you. I don't have to explain that to a lot of people. Did you want her screaming and yelling at you while you was on your job? No, because I got work to do. I got to... Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
You would be surprised how much stuff seems to make sense. But it ain't.
I agree. Oh, man. Okay. So, I guess one more time as a closer then. I'm a man. And maybe we answered it, but I just want to do it one more time.
We actually... Maybe we did. Go ahead.
You think we did?
No, I want to say something different because it sounds crazy. But stop being a man. That's the other answer. Stop being a man. Men are appalled by this idea of non-gender because they have grounded themselves in being a man. But that's also all of the shit we're saying is toxic. The same way you denigrated all of these traits in women, that wasn't true. Nor are all the traits in men true. But let's question some of this shit, right? I don't garden because I'm a man. Well, maybe that fucking needs to change. Is masculine or feminine according to gardening, right? Stop being a man. Stop being a man.
Stop tying yourself so closely.
This is who I am. I don't do this because men don't do. Men don't hug. Men
woman.
don't tell.
I'm a protector. No matter what, the man's job is to protect, to provide. Oh, I see.
Absolutely, because that's part of what the article is saying without saying, right? If men are 60% on the dating apps, where are women? Either they're not dating men, which means they're either dating women or just not dating at all. So they don't have an issue with a lot of these shifts because they found other solutions. Where are the men looking for solutions?
Yeah.
Still. And it doesn't mean you have to get left behind, but you do have to adjust. That's part of evolution, which is what we're saying. We're seeing evolutionary shifts. At one point, men worked, so women and marriages were based on necessity because they were the only ones that worked. Yeah. So that was an evolutionary norm at that time. That has shifted. We no longer only men work. Now men and women work, which means there needs to be an adaptation, an adjustment to the new reality.
Yeah.
And the better people are able to adjust and adapt, the more they'll be able to find partners. And when people can't, which you're struggling with, you're going to be on dating apps looking for them. OnlyFans pages. Beating your meat.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. On this episode of Lonely Men and Dating Apps, we may return to it.
Oh, that's the other answer is masturbation. Everybody need to just masturbate. Then you don't need a relationship. Take care of it yourself. It's not fully satisfactory, but it's a lot more satisfactory than dealing with a toxic person.
I'm gonna have to agree on that. And you know what, you know what? Oh, thank you for bringing it up. Sorry, guys, we're not closing out just yet. She's brought up something I need to address. Sorry.
I know. I always have these last thoughts, but
yeah. Welcome back to
P.S.
P.S. So, yes, I understand sexual release is important for the human psyche, especially in the 20s, 30s. I completely, and teens even, I completely understand that the sexual, the libido, the orgasm is healthy. The idea that we tell ourselves or that we operate under the premise that orgasm must come through joint thing. That part's not true.
Not at all. But I also am not against fuck buddies for that reason, because I feel like this, and not only that I'm not against it, why do you think these things developed? Let's be honest. Where did these things come from? There's a realization, I don't want all that from you. Or you can't offer me none of what I want other than sex.
Right. And so that's like okay too. Yeah, that's the new
But
movement.
that's why I said let go. You
FWB.
gotta let go of these ideas of hoes and this, like all these standards of this is how a person should be. If you have this many numbers or this much information, this, now you're not manageable or doable or interactable. I just gotta redefine certain things, or people should redefine certain
You
things.
said I just gotta.
Not I'm saying it in the seat of that person, but whoever that person is, that's your role, is to redefine that for
I respect
yourself.
that. I respect that. For yourself, yeah, what that is.
And
yeah.
be okay that not everybody's gonna be okay with that. So men are gonna call you hoes. That's a projection.
Then what? Then what after that?
Okay, I'm your hoe.
And you know
Then
what? It kind of reminds me how I felt about the Trump era, where when the people started wearing the MAGA hats and the Trump flags, a lot of people was pissed that they was wearing it. I was happy because I couldn't tell who was who before they made the hats. Once they made a uniform for the certain type of folks, to me as a data collector, I was happy that people started to hand out more data visually.
Exactly.
Because I can now see, oh, MAGA hat, not that I'm going to hate you and want to kill you in that, but I know other side of the street, okay?
Absolutely. And
So,
same for the men, right?
same.
2 lanes. That's what we didn't even get into, but like everyone has a lane. So you don't want a relationship, date people that don't want relationships. But people lie, and that's part of the problem. That's where you also see the development. Women never had to lie. Men don't technically want monogamy. I don't personally think. I don't think a lot of men want monogamy, but they think they have to say that in order to get sex or into the relationship with the woman or to have families or other things. This is what we've been taught. It can only come through the lens of monogamy. Now we're all forcing ourselves into monogamy and maybe not ready for it.
I think there's a lot of monogamous niggas who's scared of women too, though. You know, like...
Both sides of it, which is what I'm saying. Because of all of these fears, we've boxed ourselves into this is the right thing.
Oh, I see what
I'm
you're
not even
saying.
going to
I see
explore,
what you're
or
saying.
I can't get married, or I can't, like, we've created all of these.
Since I can't find a woman, I definitely want to be monogamous and get one and keep one forever.
Mm-hmm.
Sick, too.
Crazy.
Sick.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's
Keep
how
it forever. Like,
that's those joints that kill women.
that's why when you seen that one guy, I was like, it's a little creepy because you start to get to it. Gonna do everything together. That sounds stalker-like. The fuck? I don't know that I want you to be everywhere I turn all the time. That's scary.
Hey, look here, nigga. The spectrum is between I never see you because all you do is go to strip clubs and get more hoes, and everywhere I turn, here you are. Guess what?
Everywhere I
Hey,
turn.
somewhere in the middle, please.
Somewhere in the middle. And this
Somewhere-
is what men get mad because they're like, oh, you want the perfect, don't you?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you want the thug who's also a gentleman, who's also, don't you want the video vixen who's also can go to school and talk to people, who can also do, like, everybody wants the
Who also,
ideal.
she'll cook for you with her fat ass and be a freak in the
Fat
bedroom.
ass with no stomach
but
and
also
cook for you butt ass naked
and raise your kids
and raise kids that are only yours.
up. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Codependent Podcast is out.